What are you waiting for? Shop now.
Cause but
Holmes, find me a large 4-bedroom with garage.
hang on, I got more.
Here are my homes, all zoned for elementary schools rated B+ or higher location.
Where's the pool?
Show me the first one. Oh, it's AI. All you have to do is answer.
What's the map? How can I help?
Oh, on homes.com. All right, I'm considering the pool.
Can you see it? Oh, this is a better way to show you guys the notes on my phone. So yeah, this cat. They getting married.
If you have an Irish check, I'll go full booster. Go, 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 Pika, go, Pika, go, Pika, go.
Me and cat
Alright, bro.
getting married.
How about every time I play support, my 8 people always fit?
I agree that you bet all the time, but you don't mean think that they'll have good synergy. Plus, me.
Oh, okay. So this guy, he said
You know, I'm gonna be honest.
That
I had to dive too deep with my empowered team. But that was one
every
getting good items.
planet in the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. My very eager mother just served us 9 pizzas. Is named after somebody. And as far as somebody, my opinion on these things is that the somebody they were named after were the first humans to exist, the first real humans, because like we had the evolution of everything, and the evolution of Neanderthals from primates, etc., which I think all derives from plants anyway. And then like you can derive life further than that, right? Hello? So the first humans walked the earth as evidenced by infinite wisdom, like our soul family connection to the universe is valid inherently in our present being, where we are made to be perfect with imperfect knowledge. So to say that each planet here on the list, this guy said, and you can go to his profile, he said that they're all named after someone. and those someones really did exist. Like if there was a story about a guy named Zeus, Zeus really existed. If there's a story about a guy named Hera, Hera really existed. Only thing is that the stories may come with their logical flaws and fallacies, but the idea is that if there was no name for the person, there wouldn't be anything to talk about. In other words, the contrapositive or the life-affirming version would be like, because we talked about it, it had a name. Or even better than that. That would be the contrapositive to the truth. The truth is that everyone we know exists because they already existed, which is how we know them. Or why we know them. So then, like, what he goes on to say is something about, like, naming the, like, units of measure in our galaxies and the universe and overall the universe, which is like super universe, which is like within the universe there are smaller universes. So these are all just labels from a label maker. But he says something about how they like were derived from real people who really walked the earth, and then they really did pass away, and they really do have access to the infinite knowledge now that we don't have now, which we will have when we're dead, but I don't live my life under this assumption. So, I mean, I do actively, like, sit on my ass a lot, but what I'm saying is, like, how knowing this and using the thing this guy is teaching here, we can assume, or we can further imply that, like, the days of the week represent, like, key figures in our ancestral history who we can look to for guidance and support. And you can pray, and if you pray to certain people, like, they, like, were already on that vibration to begin with, so you can hopefully release your guilt and attachment to those things and allow yourself to move freely and think freely and, you know, muse anywhere in directions that you may need, whether it be direct to source energy or more of an ornamental task that, you know, enhances the lives and well-being of, like, people around you. And it may seem trivial at the time, but then it really, like, is the essence of the beauty of the thing, is, like, what you are already doing and who you already are. And some people, when they're struggling, like when they're sick, when they're lost, they need to retreat back into a source energy connection, which would then give them the tools they need to strengthen and to go out and do those more, like, you know, embellishing, like, attention grabbing things, or, like, some people are suffering from a lack of recognition. But yeah, so that's what this guy was saying about the design of the universe, and how I, in a lot of my work that I do, when I math it out, is like extracting. I feel like a digital archaeologist. Like, a lot of the stuff that I want to be doing on my live streams on YouTube is going to be unpacking the mysteries of ancient history using math and evidence, empirical evidence, and really dissolving that empirical evidence with math to tell y'all how I think it is and how I think it was. And then receiving that feedback from communities of people, we have a greater connection to God's love. And that, I feel, is my divine purpose in life. So that's where this guy down here really inspired me, because I've been struggling a lot not being able to see my boyfriend and he looks just like him. And I know that, like me, my boyfriend has a huge ton of jealousy issues, and it hurts really bad right now. It's the only thing that I think about. It's the only thing that like upsets me or bothers me at this point. Everything else doesn't matter. Like, food is great. I have money to go get it. I love like hanging out and playing games and getting drunk and going to the beach and going to the park and sleeping. And I do all those things, but I'm doing them alone. And I don't even have pictures of him, and it sucks. And I don't need like to deal with like the guilt from people who do, because we have a support system, and that's really what I was trying to highlight on. And so I really liked about this kid's work is how like the door is open to conversation, but it's not shutting a door in your face to reality. And so like you can see people's emotions pertinently in their work that they're doing, and they're supposed to generate emotions in you. Like, we're not like a lightless universe. We're not like a fireless world. Like, we exist in the dynamics that we live in within constraint, and you can't deny that. Like, a lot of people like to grieve about things and pretend like boundaries don't exist. So, one way to add movement, forward momentum into your life would be to look at something like this and be like, well, if these names of the days of the week are someone, and if you wanted like a little like encouraging to be like, who were those people, then you could tap into like an infinite wisdom about it. And ask why would
So sad. You look at Dodgers, let's see a combo. Wait, this is big.
Yeah.
look how skinny Augusta's.
I genuinely be scripting that it's on the joke. Because, like, he used the beer the second I went to the jump.
How many people? It's like 7 people. 7 days of the week. 7 days of the week is like 7 different people that you could ask what you should be doing on any given day. Like on Monday, the day of work, and Tuesday is a day of like understanding, and Wednesday is a day of processes. Thursday would be like a data center day. Like Friday would be like a day of rest in the workplace or something like that, like a day of conclusions or something like that. But then those people are probably primed to have like these deeper rooted answers to questions that you may be having any given day. Also have
Enough. Oh, it's done.
I don't know if they can hear me. But what I was saying was that every time, like mathematically, you should be able to compute, like, for example, based on the position of the moon relative to the sun and the earth, you can identify exactly what day it is in the month of 28 to 30 months, or 30 days, 31 days. Similarly, or correspondingly, or however you would like to say that, you would be able to identify exactly what week it is or what day of the week it is using the solar system. But we already talked about that. I don't know if it paused or not, the live. Down here we have like the periodic table. It's on a really good website for the periodic table. I search these up a lot. Sometimes you want one just so you can see like the mass number of the thing you're talking about. So like carbon 6, or yesterday for whatever reason we were talking about sulfur 16, which is like a lot. We were describing like the environment for your microbiome in your gut, which is actually ranges from your mouth cavities all the way through your anal cavities, about the microbiome that love to live in all of these different areas of your body. So one thing I'm going to start working on when I get back to my computer is going to be like diagramming human anatomy and the evolution of human development. So I'm going to have a baby, right? And like something I discovered when I was learning about like how I'm going to have my baby is how their organs develop over time. Well, every organ is ruled by an element from the fundamental, functional groups. For example, which element do you think rules our lungs? Probably oxygen. Which element do you think rules your stomach? Potentially phosphorus. Which element do you think rules your intestinal tract? Probably sulfur. That's why when you think of like a sulfuric acid type of smell, a lot of people are describing like the egg yolk smell, or like a vinegary version of a decomposing egg yolk, which is not really a big deal. If you like saw on a farm, like a chicken had a dozen eggs 1 week and a dozen eggs like 5 days later, like not even week 2 yet, and I already have like racks of eggs, and you're sitting on them, so a couple of them break. Well, there might be a little bit of a stinky smell, but it'd be like, like I have like smelly armpits like once a day. So what do you think that smells like? Rotten eggs? Well, all of those chemicals have a foundation of essentially carbon chains, water mixed with, and then you fill in the blank there, whether it be like a Mad Libs game, or like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about what you're eating, what you were eating, like what you done ate, or are we talking about like, like, are you like hooked up to an oxygen tank? So here we're talking about digestion, so we're talking about like the smell of rotting eggs, so that sulfuric smell, if I remember correctly, would be, all about the elements, sulfur, just a clean S there. But what I meant to say is, as you can see, like the periodic table has rows, and what you discover when you learn from the periodic table, its history and composition, which personally I know the periodic table is flawed. Periodic table has gaps in it, missing parts. The periodic table is also a tool of understanding and not necessarily law. It would be more of like one algorithm, but you can have equivalent expressions. You could have equivalent algorithms that all get to the same objective. A lot of people focus on process and not on the objectives and meeting the targets. So therefore, like, you take a step back, and sulfur was derived from diagonally nitrogen. These elements that fractal out from the center of everything, God's word, and light and sound out, the breath of God speak is what creates everything around us and continues to do so to this day. I'm still working on with God, my personal connection with God and his wife. My relationship with them is pretty good. I'm still working on the part about, like, are we all living each day together or what? Because so far what I've found out is, like, they know everything more than us. Stop questioning it. We are like God's children in God's house. Stop questioning it. Like, it don't matter if my body is inside, outside, in jail, free. We're all in God's house. This is just one of the houses. Like, this is just one of the venues for us to succeed and grow and thrive in. So diagonally, if you look at the periodic table, you can see, like, sulfur is derived from some essence of nitrogen. And an essence of nitrogen implies reincarnation, like a residual process, or like recycling the margin and using it towards something else. So it's kind of like reincarnation is not cannibalistic in nature. So this can be derived, like, this can be evidenced by, like, the geometry of the thing. Like, if you take a look at the chemical structure of each of these chemicals that we are talking about, they have fractal patterns that are, like, base 3, base 4, base 5, triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, stop sign, circle, whatever it is. All of these ideas are interrelated, but it's easy to use them as evidence to describe an argument. So what I'm trying to say is, like, the fractal patterns and everything are created from the essence of the thing that we were once talking about. And once we talk about that thing, we want to feel it out. We want to know how it's going to go, etc. And then it becomes the manifested thing. So, for example, our lungs. Both of our lungs, they're like inverse. They're tessellated inverses of each other. Not exactly. The next part I was going to make is that, like, one of our lungs is longer than the other, bigger than the other. One of them's shorter than the other. So, like, if they're derived from oxygen, element number 8, we'll think of a stop sign. Like, it's similar to a circle, but it's not quite a circle. Like, it can be divided. Like, it's symmetrical, like, in a bunch of different ways. And then you have to go into the math about it. Like, well, just because 8's an even number, it's not the same per se as, like, 4. Like, a stop sign doesn't look like a square, so therefore inherently it has different properties. These ideas are really fun. But that's what part of my work is focused on, is once we have a clean tautology for, like, algorizing everything. Like, you can write a truth table out of everything. Somebody says a statement like, I don't like ham sandwiches, I'd rather have turkey sandwiches. You can take that and you can turn it into an algorithm that only shows this person ham sandwiches, or if they're a murderer, it only shows them turkey. You know what I'm saying? So when we get stronger at these skills, the world around us becomes way prettier and easier to understand, and we feel safer in it. I hope this was fun. I'm sweating my ass off. I gotta go. See you later. Bye. Oh, one more thing. One more hit.
If you're pop-up, you can also get a
I know. The recursive formula, the recursive sequence. All of these words are all synonymous for an algorithm that presents you with a computed answer for something that once was. So, I don't know if I can put like a marker on here. Like, can I draw on here? Tool. Like a pencil? Like, here's like a cool, like pretty, shiny thing I did. That's not gonna do it, so. Yeah. Okay. I'll see y'all later then. Bye.